Hey Rage Nation, it's Kimber Schaefer here with Rage in the Cage Oklahoma News, and it is about that time. We have a 2-night weekend coming up, and we're back in Oklahoma City. We've got Roll in the Cage going down February 9th, that's on a Friday, followed by Rage in the Cage on February 10th, and we are here with Braden Brown to talk to him about his upcoming bout on the Rage in the Cage card. So we're going to start with the basics. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I started wrestling here in Norman about 5 years old, and then I really had one fight before this. Be honest, I didn't take it serious enough, and then I really started getting serious and started training here at Sheldon Wrestling Academy since about last September, and started really grinding and getting prepared, doing what I need to do. I had prepared and been in and out of doing stuff for a few years, about 18. So.
Okay, so you said you had a bout, was it an MMA, on an MMA card?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that one didn't go so great for you?
It wasn't the best. I mean, I did my best. I won the first round, didn't pace myself. So I ran out of cardio, and then I lost the second and third round, but I went all 3 rounds, and I was just happy to not get finished, That was
My goodness, yeah. Starting your amateur career, and even if you started with a loss, the fact that you were able to go all 3 rounds is pretty significant. So
Thank you. Yep.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So you said you started wrestling at the age of 5, though, here in Norman?
Yes.
One of the elementary schools here? Or
yes, so I was in the Norman North Little League program. My dad was my coach starting out, and then I just stuck with it since a little guy, yeah. And I went to Norman North for high school and wrestled for them. And then I really jumped into MMA and really enjoyed it, really liked what I was doing.
So basically right out of high school, you were ready to jump into martial arts?
Yes, yeah. No,
okay.
I always knew I wanted to be a fighter. Even when I was little, I just knew it. I was kind of like, yeah, this is something I want to do, so.
So wrestling, tell me a little bit about your wrestling in high school, how that went for you.
It went pretty well. I wrestled my freshman and sophomore year, and then that's when I started to train MMA, was at about 16. I started traveling down to Davis, Oklahoma, and then training with a guy named Treston Williams, who was fighting for Bellator, and started really getting a feel for what it was going to be like to fight. But I did very well in high school, in my opinion. I won state in 2016, my freshman year. So it was a good time for me. I really loved wrestling, yeah.
Oh, nice. And you said your father was a wrestler and a wrestling coach, so
yes.
Your family probably doesn't have the same fear of you going in the cage as a lot of families do when they've got a debut fighter.
Yeah, my dad definitely. My mom, not so much. She don't like seeing me get cut up or anything like that. But yeah, for the most part, my family's very supportive of what I do, and they know that I'm going to do it regardless. So
nice. Well, I tell you, I have stood beside several fighters with their first interview with me before, and I see their mom over in the background, and even on the interviews, I see the nerves in them. So
yeah,
that's always, I like to ask that question. So. Well, good. And so you were no stranger to the weight cut either.
No, yeah. The last weight cut I did, I actually cut down to 55 from about 175, 180, and that was a pretty big cut. But this time around, I've been very conscious of my weight and more dieting and just maintaining that weight. So this cut is not bad at all. I'll be way more energized, way more cardio. Everything will be a lot better this time around.
Nice. You learned a lot from that first fight.
Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm honestly glad it went the way it did. If I would have, finished him in the first round, I wouldn't have learned as much. I wouldn't have really been able to know what I need to do, where my cardio was at, everything like that. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way it went, honestly.
Nice. And it's so good to learn that young in your career because, I mean, to be honest, I even see some pro fighters that have been doing this, 5-10 years, and I see them in there, and the first thing to go is their cardio, and I'm thinking, of all things, that you can control, and that's your cardio.
There's a good saying that was taught to me by a guy named Jake Shannon with Scientific Wrestling. He said, cardio is your best hold. Like, that's your best submission, your best strike is cardio. I mean, if that guy's tired, everything else starts falling apart with him, and everything starts going together for you.
Very good. That's true. I like that. So you've known since you were a kid that you wanted to be an MMA fighter. So your hopes are obviously, I'm assuming, to go all the way to like UFC.
Yes, yeah. I would like to go professional. I mean, UFC, Bellator, anything that would be willing to have me, I would go for it. I mean, I'm wanting to go pro, but I really just want to fight. That's what I love. That's what I love to do,
Well, I'm so glad that, and I'm sure your coaches or managers or whoever have really told you to settle in that amateur career first, work out all the kinks now, because once you go pro, I see all these backward records, because when you take care of all the competition and you beat everybody at the amateur level, that's your weight class and
yeah.
you've gotten the titles and all that, then definitely you know in your heart probably when it's time to go pro. And so many people rush through that. So I'm proud of you for just kind of like.
Thank you. Yeah. My coaches, George and George Burton and Brandon Shelton, they definitely were, even after my first loss, they were very, adamant about, hey, guess what your professional record is? 0-0. Like it's fine. It's experience, it's time in the cage. That's what we need. That's what we're here to do. Here to get ready to go to the big league. Like that's the end goal.
Very good. Well, I love that. Great advice from your coaches as well. So we don't even have an opponent for you. You've lost your opponent. They've had to pull out. And so at this point, we are just hoping that Summer can get a replacement pretty soon and you can kind of go about your day knowing who you're going to be facing come at February 10th.
Yes.
So as we're doing this interview, we are 2 weeks away. Oh, actually, less than 2 weeks away, 2 weeks yesterday. So hopefully we have some good news for you coming soon.
So. Yeah, I'm hoping so too. So if anybody wants to get in there and scrap a little bit, just let me know and we'll hook it up.
What weight class are you?
155.
155. All right. Calling out the 155ers. So, well, thank you so much.
No
and you
problem.
train right here at Brandon's Wrestling Academy,
Yes.
Shelton's.
Yep,
Okay.
Shelton Wrestling Academy here in Norman. Yeah, it's a good spot. Come on down if you can.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for coming out for your interview. Thank you, fans, for joining us for this interview. And we hope that you'll also join us for our 2-night Rage and Roll weekend, starting with Roll in the Cage, our Struggle Snuggle on Friday, February 9th, followed by Rage in the Cage 97 on Saturday, February 10th. You can get tickets at stubwire.com. Any fighter on the card that has tickets in hands, and we will see you then. We're going to rage it up.